At the FayWhat show, we want to introduce you to interesting people that are important to our LGBTQ plus community. You may know this next girl from Big Brother, and she has just stolen our hearts here in South Florida. Here is Nicole Layog. Good morning, folks. I am so excited about my next guest. I mean, aside from being drop dead gorgeous, she is also an inspiration to many, many. You probably know who she is. She's Nicole Layog, and she has been on Big Brother. She used to be part of the sheriff's department. Now she's an incredible, incredible chef, just trying to advocate and love our community like only she can. Welcome to the FayWhat show, Nicole.
Hey, love. How are you? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you for being here. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to have you here. How was Pride?
Pride was amazing. I didn't get to do as much as I wanted to, but I celebrated in DC the week before, and then I got to do some of the festivities at Stonewall. So
I love that. So let's talk about our shirts.
Oh, our shirts, yes.
Okay, only certain people change my attire. Nicole did that. Let's talk about these shirts. What's on them?
My dad is from the Philippines, and so my mom is from Puerto Rico, but I figured I'd give you a little Filipino flair.
I love it.
For the show today.
I love it.
So these are all my favorite foods. They're the most popular dishes in the Filipino culture. So lumpia, they're like our little version of Filipino egg rolls or spring rolls.
Okay.
Pancit is like a stir fry.
Yum.
And sinigang is a sour soup, sometimes made with pork, sometimes made with beef, but it's like the best hangover cure ever.
Like a lemongrass soup, like something that's really gonna
something like that. It's super fragrant with like tamarind and it's really yummy. And then adobo is the classic chicken, soy sauce, garlic, put it over rice. Oh, so good. And then lechon is
lechon. It's pork, man. You gotta have, you gotta have your lechon for Christmas and stuff like that, right?
And it's our it's the crossover of the Latin Filipino culture.
I love that. Well, thank you for my shirt.
You're
I love
welcome.
it. I'm gonna have to be looking up all these things.
I'll just make them for you.
Will you make them for me, really?
Yeah,
I love that.
My favorite food.
Cook for me. Oh my God, I'm getting divorced next week. So
no, don't do it.
So Nick, if we got married, my name would be Fay Layog.
Yes. Fay Layog.
Fay Lay.
Fay Lay.
Og.
Fay Layog.
Nick, how long have you been out?
Out since about 19.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
And so were you raised by your grandma?
No, I was raised by my mom and my dad. And when I was about 21, 22, my sister came out. And so it's just my sister and I. We're 3 years apart.
And she's younger or older?
She's older.
And she came out as gay too?
Yes.
I love it! Yeah. Listen, for all you folks out there, if you're gay and you have other siblings, there is a high probability that one of them is on the spectrum to be gay. So mess with them, okay? Because they are gay. Drag them out of the closet.
I think I drug her out of the closet.
You think so?
Yeah, I came out first and then she came out.
That's awesome though, but to have each other for that, you know?
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. Her and her wife, they've been together for like 15 years.
That's so
and my
beautiful.
niece and nephews, they have 3 kids, so my niece and nephews are my pride and joy.
And your parents are supportive?
Yes, very supportive. They actually walked us both down the aisles of our weddings when we both got married. I'm divorced now, but...
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll have to get to that. Ooh, I love that. I love a good divorce story. Broward County Sheriff, you really were working for the Broward County Sheriff, turned chef, turned reality star.
10 years. 10 years I worked with BSO. I started out working in the jail and corrections and realized, okay, it's time to kind of make the move to go to road patrol because I always wanted to be a detective. And I did just that. I went back into an academy and became a police officer on road patrol. Did that for 10 years. Ended my career as a detective the last 2 years. And then now I'm a chef.
But, okay, so, we just had Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival like we were talking about before, right? And one of my favorite parts of the festival is law enforcement being a part of it.
Yes.
Okay, it's the many times where I get the goosebumps, right? For whatever reason, I don't know what it is. And then you'll see the police officers with their rainbow flags or with a rainbow, hat on or whatever. But I can't, I can't watch that joy and feel that joy without thinking for a second of the strained relationship that LGBTQ plus has with law enforcement.
Yeah.
Did you experience any of that? Were you more aware because you're L that that you had to be more sensitive to LGBTQ plus people?
I think the sensitivity was more around not a lot of people were out. And I think a lot of people were either ashamed or scared or the support that they would get or lack thereof. I know that when I was in one of the first parades, and this is back in probably 2009, 2008. I was in the Pride Parade. I was in the Crime Stoppers van. I was one of 3 out police officers who was in that parade. And what's so wild about that is I never thought anything of it back then because I was never treated differently. You know, everybody I worked with, they accepted me. I was out. Everybody knew that I was a lesbian.
Yeah, but you kind of look like you could beat somebody's ass, Nicole. So I mean,
Absolutely.
look, okay, do just a regular face. Come on, just do just a regular straight face. See, right? Like, would you f with that? No. No, like you've got like the beautiful resting bitch face. Like, wow, she's hot, but she might beat my fucking ass.
Yeah, I mean, well,
So maybe that's why you didn't have to.
maybe that's why I didn't have to deal with
Maybe.
it. But at the same time, it was very rare for me to find anybody within any law enforcement agency that was out the way I was
the way that you
during
were
that
out.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So how does that happen though? That you're like, I want to be a detective, right? I want to solve cases. I want to bring people closure, right? And then you do that for 2 years and you're like, I'm done. Brought enough closure. Gotta go cook.
Well, the irony in that is, to take it to like a little bit of a serious level is that I wasn't able to give a lot of my victims closure because I was investigating crimes like burglaries, vandalisms, where, there's no surveillance video, there's no evidence, or there's no fingerprints. And you're trying to provide a community some sort of closure. You're trying to provide these victims, this safety blanket that it's not going to happen again. And how can you really guarantee that it's not going to happen again?
Yeah.
And so those are some of the issues that I dealt with internally. But at the same time, I was also following other dreams and aspirations while I was a detective and while I was a police officer, and that was cooking.
And that was cooking. And that was, one of my favorite shows is SVU.
Oh,
Mariska Hargitay is just everything.
She's the hottest.
She is the hottest.
She's still the hottest.
And listen, you can look at pictures of her or like video of her like 20 years ago, and she's just still hot.
Do you remember that PETA ad she did?
Oh yes. Oh my God. But
amazing.
She was just at Taylor Swift, right? And she was just posting all this stuff, and I was just loving.
Oh my goodness.
Every single part of it.
Fantastic.
Love her. And so you think like you get invested to these shows, so you start thinking it's real, and I'm like, wow, she's poor Benson, she's been dealing with this for 25 years and she can't find closure for a lot of people and blah, blah, blah. And how can, and so I think about that where it's like, you want to find a solution. You're a solution-based person. Right. I want to find the person who did this, but it's not like they show it on TV. There's not cameras everywhere. There's not, clues that are left behind. There's not DNA in every single crime scene,
Correct.
And that's got to be just over the top frustrating.
It was very frustrating. I knew where my career was going, and I knew that the next steps in my career were going to be along the lines of crimes against children, something along the lines of SVU. But then my ex-wife and I at the time ended up getting an opportunity to leave South Florida and pack our house up, sell our house, move to Colorado.
Wow. Okay.
And the opportunity for me to start over and try this new career of cooking was right in front of us.
And you couldn't say no.
No, I couldn't say no.
So that's how the cooking then began. So you went over to Colorado and started cooking for individuals
So I started in the restaurant industry. And so, I was a dishwasher, I was a prep cook, I was a butcher. I went from making $75,000 a year to making $11 an hour. And it was all worth it because in the end, I was taking this leap of faith to follow something that I had a huge passion for. And I fell in love with cooking. I was putting myself through culinary school while I was a police officer.
Okay.
And so I realized that it was something that I wanted to pursue and make it a lifestyle and not just,
Yeah, not just something
not a hobby. Yeah.
Not just something you did, at 2 a.m. when you got back from Wilton Manors, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I noticed that when you talk about cooking, you smile different.
I love it.
It just lights up your whole entire face.
That is what I lost in law enforcement was I wasn't this person anymore.
Yeah.
And I realized that I needed to change that in order for me to be happy.
Oof. So you're cooking in Colorado. How does Big Brother, we have to talk about Big Brother.
Okay.
How does Big Brother come about?
It comes later.
Okay.
I cooked in Colorado for about 6 years.
Uh-huh.
And I wasn't making any money. I mean, the restaurant industry, anybody will tell you, you have to hustle, hustle,
Yep.
hustle. I mean, I was working 3 jobs at a time, going through a divorce, trying to figure out my life. And one of my mentors, she said, hey, why don't you try yachting? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you have the personality, being an ex-cop, you know how to handle your own. Nobody's going to mess with you. Like, it's definitely something you should try. And the pay is amazing. And so I came back to South Florida in 2019 and started cooking on yachts. And here I am.
Wow.
I work for very wealthy clients. I cook privately. I do all these, dinners and wine pairings and everything. And I was like, I need something a little extra in my life. I'm like, I need a little zhuzh of life.
In my non-spare time, I have to do something else.
Yeah, in my non-spare time, what else can I do? And I realized, I've always liked Big Brother. And I was just motivated. I watched season 23 of Big Brother, and I noticed that more than half the cast were brown or black.
Love it.
And I was like, wait a minute. I'm like,
I'm brown.
I'm brown.
I'm cute.
I'm cute. I can do this. And it had nothing to do with cooking, which made it even more exciting, because it was like I didn't want to put my career on a camera or on a show, but I would love to play this game and try to win $750,000.
Right.
It didn't work out, but
No, but it did work out though.
Yeah.
Think about it. It did fill that little space, right? And you only did it for, you were there for 4 weeks, but that's a month, honey. That is a whole month of your time.
30 days, long time.
Oof. Like I've told you in the past, I think that part of you is probably the least interesting to me, you know, because I remember when Big Brother came out a million years ago and everybody was watching it, right? I guess 20 something years ago.
2000.
And I was like, wow, you're going to put all these people in a house together and these people are going to fart and people are not going to be respectful and it's going to be a hot mess. And then I wonder when the first gay person is going to be and blah, blah, blah. And then by season 4, I got bored and I stopped watching, right? So then here we are, season 24 with you. And I see this beautiful brown girl everywhere, right? It was like SFGN, Outclick, like all the local, we did stories on you at Queer News Tonight, here also on the Happening Out television network. And I was like, who is this girl? And why is she so hot? And she really lives here in Wilton? Bullshit. I've never seen her on Wilton Drive. That is crap. And then that was where my escapade of trying to find Miss Nicole, because I would find a person and hung out with you, and then they're like, oh my God, you have to meet her. Nicole's amazing. She reminds me a little bit of you. She's kind of a badass. I'm like, all right, cool. Then months would pass by, and then you were off the show. Then I meet other people that know you, and they're like, oh, she's back home, blah, blah. I'm like, damn, that was quick. How long was she gone, right?
Right. I mean, for me, it felt like forever. And I think that in our small community, I mean, I hang out with a lot of gay boys. And I think you are in the same realm of gay boys.
Yes, gay boys give us life.
I think our gay boys started connecting and they were like putting 2 and 2 together. And I'm so happy and grateful for them, because this would never have happened.
This would have never happened. And I'm like such a fan of you. I'm such a fan, like honestly.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And again, I'm glad that you got out after 4 weeks. You weren't supposed to be there any longer, Mama.
I
Okay.
agree.
What was the hardest part of being there filmed 24/7 for 4 weeks?
I think that the experiment of what Big Brother is, and that it's a pressure cooker, you sort of lose yourself being on camera, being on microphone, the pressure of wanting to win that money and the pressure of not wanting to disappoint family and friends.
Yeah.
And I will say that one thing that was just breaking me up inside was that I was worried about my family on the outside, and I was worried about am I making them proud? And there's just a lot of pressure when it comes to that. You're on a TV show and you're trying to win this money for your family and for yourself, and it's a competition and I'm very competitive.
Yeah.
But there was part of me that I felt like I lost part of myself. Some of the things that how I would react to drama or how I would react to situations, I wasn't reacting that way in the house that I would react on the
outside.
it
It was different
world.
because of the pressure cooker, like you're saying. Like, you're like, wow. So did you look at some of these episodes after and go, holy shit, that was how I reacted to that? Or
I've seen a handful of them.
Okay.
I haven't watched the entire season, and a lot of it hurts. It's it's painful. I don't think a lot of people realize that you're being put in this. Yes, you are volunteering for this, and yes, I made the choice to go on this show for the opportunity of what the show is. And that was it. And it's just,
the rest of the stuff that freaking comes with it is
the rest of the stuff that comes with it.
You can't prepare.
You can't prepare. You can't predict.
Yeah.
You don't know how you're going to react. You can go to as much therapy as you want prior to the show. You just never know what's going to happen.
And a lot after.
And a lot of therapy after. A lot of therapy after. I mean, thank God for my friends. Thank God for my family. The one thing that I will say that I got out of the show was my relationship with my sister.
Oh, I love that. Explain.
Yeah. We have always had a strained relationship from the time we were teenagers until the time we were adults. I mean, even though we both came out of the closet, we both have been married, we both are in this same community, I think siblings sometimes have this rivalry, and I always felt like I was behind her, always following in her shadow. And there was this moment where, this is obviously after I'm out of the show and we're having these conversations, where she said that she saw a version of herself on the TV when I was going through all of the drama and towards the end of my time on Big Brother. And she couldn't believe it. She was like, oh my God.
They pushed you to that.
We are the same.
And we're the
person.
same.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we now talk, if not every day, we talk every other day.
That's awesome.
And before the show, I can honestly say that I was always looking for that relationship with my sister, and I was always looking just to make her proud of me. And the day after I was evicted from the Big Brother show, you know, you don't get your phones or anything like that. You have to do like 19 interviews. I mean, it was just like interview. You don't have a moment to like feel. You don't have a moment to really think.
Process.
Not even a moment to process. You still don't know what's going on in the real world. I still have no idea what's happening. I still have
because
nothing.
It's during COVID also, honey.
Well, yeah, and so we just don't know. You just don't know what's going on. And so we're on, like, I call her, she answers, we're on FaceTime, and now I've never seen my sister cry. And I know I've cried to her in the past, but that's different. And for the first time ever in my life, she said that she was proud of me. And it was the words that I needed to hear to know that like everything was going to be okay.
I love that.
And so if there's anything that I got from Big Brother, it was
that. Look, you know what? I'm a firm believer of reason, season, lifetime.
Yeah.
You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
And firm believer. Like there's some people in my life that I've been like, wow, this person's supposed to be here forever. And they're not. And you learn a lesson, right? You learn a very wonderful lesson, then you move on, right? And so Big Brother was like that for you. You know, you didn't know what you were getting into. You knew you wanted to do this.
Yeah.
And that money would have been sweet, right? But
Of
you
course.
didn't. But there's no way to prepare for everything that comes along with that, you know? Somebody's filming you 24 hours a day. All of a sudden you start seeing that you have muecas, you know, muecas.
Oh
right?
my God.
So muecas
every
are like,
day.
like you look like you have like something wrong, but it's like, it's just how Latinos express themselves, like without saying anything, right? You're just,
Oh, you mean this face like all the time? I think there are memes about me and there are videos everywhere with this face. Where and then I'm like, oh my God, I need fucking Botox. Like, it was just like this the whole time.
that is hysterical.
But when I thought about it, I was like, if you watch the actual videos of everything that was happening surrounding my face looking like that, it's because I'm either pissed off, or I'm like thinking hardcore about crap. What's my next move?
I don't want to tell this mother effer off.
Pretty much.
So I'm just gonna stay with my face like this, scrunched up. That must have given you some extra wrinkles, and I don't see any.
Oh yeah.
And I see none.
Well,
none.
Gave me extra
None.
It's Botox.
Botox works. So you're Filipino and Puerto Rican, which I love,
Yes.
right? One of my really good friends, Chef Josie,
Yes.
right? She's also Filipino.
So she is also
She's
Filipino.
also Filipino and Puerto
Yeah,
Rican.
so she's Puerto Rican, Filipino, and Cuban.
Yes.
And then we've totally connected on that whole.
I love her. She's one of my favorite people on earth, and her mix is is part of what makes her so phenomenal, right? And also for you as
absolutely.
well. So, what is it about Filipino and Puerto Rican culture that love to cook? Because both those cultures can freaking cook their asses off.
I think it's just the way we show our love. It's the way we show our passion. It's the way we, I always say that, everyone's like, oh, what love language do you speak with? And I'm like, cooking. They're like, oh, so acts of service? I'm like, no.
No.
I'm like, cooking is an entirely different way of showing love on its own.
I think I would put the cooking under gifts. You know how one of the love
Yeah.
languages is to give a gift, right? Like, I'm one of those people that if someone says something, man, I want to get my DNA, but I don't know which blah, blah, blah to get, blah, blah, blah. I'll put a note on my phone, and for their birthday, I'll get them that DNA kit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is my love language. It'll be
Okay.
something that you might not buy yourself, but I'm going to get
Right.
it for you, And so I think that cooking goes right under that umbrella as well, because you're making this specifically with that person in mind.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shows is Below Deck. Have you ever seen that?
A couple of
With
them.
Captain Sandy. I love Captain Sandy. I interviewed her a couple months back. She's a
Oh,
badass.
that's amazing.
She's a badass. You need to get on that show, but they need to just make that whole show around you.
There's too much drama.
Yeah. Because you
They don't focus on they focus on like the hooking up, the partying,
Exactly.
and all that stuff. And
have
I'm
you ever
like,
hooked up with anybody on a yacht? You're thinking about it.
I'm just wondering, how do I answer that?
I mean,
I'm gonna plead the fifth.
okay, you're gonna play the fifth.
Yes.
If Big Brother called you and said, "Look, we're gonna do a best of. We want to do another try," would you go?
Absolutely.
In a second, not even
Absolutely.
thinking, even after all the crap that you went
Yep.
through that time.
Absolutely.
I love that.
I think that with all the tools that I was provided from 24, and I think going in, I'm gonna know how to manage myself better as far as like my emotions
Yes.
and my reactions and the way I speak to people, the way I treat myself. I think that a lot of it has to do with inside and like what's going on internally and how you're going to handle things externally.
But you would also be a more like diabolical player then, because you would be like, okay, I'm not saying shit anymore.
I'm not
gonna
saying
learn from
shit.
last time. I'm gonna take all this information.
One of my first interviews out getting evicted, they were like, what is one thing that you would do different? I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Basically. No, yeah. No,
Shut
that's
up.
it. And we're Puerto Rican, so we love to freaking talk, and
Right.
our hands talk, and our faces
Right.
talk, and
That's why we cook so wonderfully, because it's like we're able to express everything we're feeling
in there.
on a plate,
In there.
on a pot.
So you were talking about you've been married and you've been divorced.
Yes.
Is it hard to be married to you?
Yes. Absolutely.
Was
I
it-
think back then, yes, more than
now?
it would be now.
Because of work that you've done on yourself?
Yes,
Or because
absolutely.
you've learned from that relationship?
Both. I mean, I've done so much work on myself. I've learned so much from that marriage. I've learned great things. I've learned horrible things.
Are you still friends?
No.
Okay.
But if I saw her walking down the street, I would run up and give her a hug
Yes,
immediately.
yes. No, and I understand I love that lesbians are best friends with their exes. I'm not.
I think that is
I'm not. I don't fuck my
wild.
friends.
It's wild.
I don't fuck my friends. That's it.
That's
okay.
a really good rule to have.
Right? It is a good rule to
It
have.
is a good
right?
rule.
And it works out with the 10 million gay boys that you and I hang
Well,
out
that's
with,
what
right?
the best part is.
That they don't want to sleep with us.
They
you
don't
know?
want to sleep.
Well, some
Yeah,
do,
some
but,
do, but
you
yeah,
give
no,
them a
you
molly or
won't.
two, then they're like all of a sudden, I'm like, those are tits, leave me alone. So no, but listen, that Band-Aid, like I had a love with you. I had a life with you. I had a relationship with you.
Yeah.
I can't be besties the next day. I need that Band-Aid to be ripped off like that. I need for you to block me. I need for you to forget my address. I need for us not to talk. If I do see you on the street, once I've done some work on myself, I'm going to say thank you for the experience and thank you
yes.
for putting up with this crazy. And I
know.
I know you know, and I appreciate the time, but the best is to not have friendships or anything like that initially,
I think initially, yes, because I've seen relationships with people. I mean, I have a best friend who we dated not a long time ago, but right after my divorce, and we've just become friends and
again.
we are like best friends. Like, I love her. I would do anything for her, but I would never date her ever again. Like that.
Was that just because you were vulnerable during that time, maybe?
I think what happened was that
And she
one,
was
I was
comfortable?
vulnerable. She was comfortable, but I started seeing sides of me that I hadn't seen since before my marriage. And so I started seeing that, okay, I lost a lot of myself in my marriage, and now I've found a lot of myself, but I've also grown into somebody else. And so it's one of those relationships where we were both in such great places, but we were both going in different directions in our lives with our careers and everything.
Got it.
So now we're friends. And so it's a good thing.
Nicole, have you ever been ugly?
Yes.
Like when I was 14, I had a mullet and I had this weird thing going on because I have really curly hair. So I had like an afro and a mullet before I was out as a lesbian. It was like, It was not good. And then there was another time when I was like 33, 34. I had some jacked up things going on, but I was still drinking back then. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why I haven't.
Okay.
I had a couple, like 3 or 4 years that I was ugly, busted. So
Yes. Ugly, busted. Middle school.
Okay.
Probably like 12 or 13. I thought I was a chola. So I thought that like all my Black and Puerto Rican friends were like my ride or dies. And so I did anything to make sure that I fit in. And so I wore like the baggy pants, the Puerto Rican shirts. I mean, I had a mustache and I had a unibrow. So like there were lots of things going on here that were just a little bit too much for, for people to handle. The mustache was real though. It was like 12 o'clock shadow mustache. Like, I remember coming home and I'm like, Mommy, I bleached my mustache. Oh my God. It was like horrendous.
God.
And then we separated the eyebrow. We removed the mustache. And then high school was, I was still trying to embrace, like, what am I? Like, I wasn't sure if I was like a tomboy. I was an athlete. There were just a lot of hit or misses. And then when I was in about my 30s, you know what it is? It's a Passaic thing.
I think, okay, do you know we're both from Passaic, New Jersey? Can you believe that?
It's a
Passaic thing. And if you've ever been to Passaic, I'm sorry.
Yeah, really sorry. So in my 30s, my eyebrows would get thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And like, I look at Facebook and I'm like, why didn't anybody tell me? Why didn't anybody tell me?
No, listen, I dated this stripper once, right? And so she would paint thin her eyebrows, right? And so I didn't know.
I want to see a picture.
I didn't know, like that's false advertising, by the way. All right. So after we slept together, like the next morning, like on the night table, I see eyelashes, I see some inserts for her bra, and like then I look at her and she's got no eyebrows, like nothing. It's just plain right there. So I guess she used to paint them in or something. I was mortified. I'm like, Smile, how do I know if you're happy, sad, or indifferent? I can't tell. Eyebrows do a lot for a person.
Eyebrows
Nicole.
do a lot for a person. And I have a mug that I love more than anything. And on the mug, it says, don't worry about me, worry about your eyebrows.
Ooh, I love that. And boys too, you need to worry about your eyebrows. Your Instagram, I remember your Instagram is Butcher Goddess.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Make sure you follow her on all social media. And when I first saw it, I just looked at it real quick and I said, Butch Goddess. There's nothing Butch about her. What is she talking about? Okay, Butcher Goddess. No, but why Butcher Goddess?
Butcher Goddess. So when I moved to Colorado, my first job, I was a butcher when I started cooking. And so Instagram wasn't that popular at the time. And so everyone had like their own little handles. And I was just trying to be whatever, slick and cool. And so I put the Butcher Goddess because I was the only female in this meat department cutting up all this meat.
Nobody else wants to cut down a fucking cow,
No,
Nicole.
I
Like
know.
that doesn't sound fun at all.
It's so much fun though. I love it. I know. I'm sorry.
And there's blood everywhere and there's guts and you're all dirty. That's the butch. See, there's the butch part.
There's the butch part.
There's the butch part.
There's the butch part. But either way. So
Either
that's how
way.
I got my Instagram name.
So climate right now for our community is effed. It's crazy. Okay, we've got the drag ban. We've got DeSantis fighting Disney. We've got Target having our backs and pulling a whole big section and then taking it away after a couple of threats. Bud Light, all this crap. What do you think about everything that's going on right now?
I think when it comes to all of the politics and all of the drama that's happening within our community, I think that we need to focus within and we need to just stick together and we need to build our community stronger from a smaller scale and then go larger on the outside. I think that, yes, there are companies out there who are doing it for, they're doing it to fit in.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Yeah, just to say, hey, look, we're here for you.
I get it. But at the same time, sometimes maybe not saying anything at all is your best bet. But what sucks about that is that we need those allies and we need a larger community.
Yeah.
But I think if we continue to try to build from within and branch out is going to be the best plan of action. But
yeah, and I think that's one of our biggest issues is not unifying. We were all put under this LGBTQ plus umbrella, and a lot of people weren't asked if they wanted to be jumbled up together. But here's the reality: we are. So if you're an L, you need to be thinking about the T. If you're a B, you need to start thinking about the plus. We all have to be together, or we're all going to implode, you know?
Absolutely.
But the reality is, Nicole, that if you don't tell anybody you're gay, nobody will know, and you will pass.
I agree, 110%.
And that's a privilege that not many people in our community have.
No, they don't. And it's really, it's very scary. You know, for the longest time, I never knew anybody in the trans community. And
I was going to ask you about that.
And I actually ended up working in social work in Colorado. So while I was working at restaurants and working as a butcher,
you had to have 5 jobs because it's you.
I had to have 5 jobs because I had to make sure that I could pay my mortgage and pay my car payment and pay, you know, live a life.
Yeah.
And so I took on a job as a social worker because it's what I knew. It's, you know, I had that already in my back pocket because of being a cop. And my supervisor, Anaya, he is trans, and he's the most amazing human being in this world. And he opened my eyes to what I never had any knowledge about whatsoever. And I'm not here to educate people about trans, and I'm not here to preach anything about it. I'm just here to say is that I knew nothing of it. I have the knowledge that I've gained from him, and I'm very grateful because I felt like I just wasn't aware.
Yeah.
And now it's different for me. Now I'm, you know, I feel like I'm an ally to the trans community because even though they're within our umbrella of LGBTQ plus QA, all the things, we still need to educate ourselves, and we still need to get involved, and we still need to hold each other's hands.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it's not going to work. Nothing's going to work.
It's not going to work. And I love that you had this person in your life to open up your eyes, you know, because the reality is that until it hits you in the face, right, you're like kind of oblivious to it. Like I was, okay, trans is there, fine. You know, I just like you had to educate myself, had to understand that women are women, period, right? So for me, the L and the T need to be closer than ever, and they're not, you know,
No.
They're really not. More people like you need to come out and say, hey, I am slowly educating myself and others on this, right? There should be no fear about making mistakes. We make mistakes all the time.
You make a mistake and you say you're sorry. And that's something that I had to learn. And I'm very happy that I was able to experience that, because misgendering a person, it happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all you have to do, 1, is apologize, and 2, accept that there's that change, and just be accepting and be like loving and caring, and you just have to embrace it. And you know what? I'm sorry, and it goes a long way.
It goes a long way, and it might not be, you know, and you've got to be okay with it not being received okay. If the other person is pissed at you for using the wrong pronouns or misgendering or whatever, okay, wipe it off and keep going. You made the mistake. It is what it is, you know?
Right.
But don't let that deter you from trying again or from learning some more.
And
you
correct
know?
yourself. And it's okay. It's okay to correct yourself.
Listen, I still go through they, them. I always want to be respectful to gender nonconforming and non-binary folks, you know? And so I always take like a breath beforehand and go, okay, make sure to say they, them correctly.
Yeah.
You know, it's important. And if it comes out messed up, then I say, I'm sorry, and I say it again.
Yes.
You know? Ms. Nicole, I'm all about manifesting. I'm all about manifesting here at the FayWhat show. Okay, so here we are manifesting for you. Okay. Where are you in 2 years? 2025. What do you see? What are you doing?
2025.
Yes. Can you believe that shit? That it's like right around the corner, right? We're in 2023.
I don't even know.
Ya se acabó.
Listen, I'm still trying to prepare for all the things that I have going on in the next 3 months.
Nope. Take it out. Take it out.
Take it out.
2025. 2025. What is it? What do you have going on?
2025.
Visualize it. See it. What is it?
Oh, I mean, 2025, I'm hoping that my new project that I'm working on comes to fruition.
Okay, does that have to do with cooking?
Sure does.
Okay. Her new project with cooking comes into fruition.
Yes.
2025. All right.
2025.
You know it's a show. It better be a show.
I mean,
all right. 2025. What else?
And then outside of that, I hope a lot of travel has happened. I want to go back to the Philippines and be with my family and really learn, like, dive into Filipino cuisine. And then I would obviously also like to get down to Puerto Rico and do some cooking down there as well. And basically just continue living the lifestyle that I'm living.
Okay, so do you know who Walter Mercado is?
No.
You're Puerto Rican and you don't know who Walter Mercado is? So Walter Mercado,
Fail.
he looks like this Liberace guy. Well, he passed away. And he was a fortune teller. So he would like just tell everybody like, Sagittario, blah, 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 blah. And you know, like Capricornio, blah, 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 blah. You have to say, and at the end of every single one, he would say, bendiciones para todos y que Dios me lo bendiga a todos, que reciban de mí paz, mucha paz, pero mucha, 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 mucha amor. That's how he would say it.
My grandmother would say that.
Okay, your grandma stole it from Walter Mercado. Okay, just to let you know. Just to let you know, all right? So manifested and it is done. Now, in 2 years, don't forget about the little people. Okay, when you have your show, you have to come back and be in bed with me.
Well, I would hope. Yes. She caught me off guard completely.
You got it. Have you ever watched Ultimatum?
No, what's that?
That's the lesbian reality show. You gotta watch it. It's Ultimatum. It's the queer version. So there's
it's based in London.
So it's 5 couples.
Okay.
It's 5 couples that are together, and like one gives the other the ultimatum, and then they go on this island with five couples, and then they all get separated, and they decide to date somebody else. And at the end of the project, they decide if they want to stay with their person or go with somebody else. It is drama.
This sounds like a bad idea.
It is a bad idea.
That's a really bad idea.
And I watch it like this, like I love it, but it's a fucking bad idea.
That's a really bad idea.
Okay, just watch
That
it one
kinda
day. When you have nothing else to watch,
fine.
watch it, all right?
Okay.
So here at the FayWhat show, we play this game called Say What with FayWhat.
Say What with FayWhat,
So
okay.
basically, I'm going to throw 2 things at you, and you have to pick one of them. So for example, I'm going to say car or truck,
Okay.
and then you say what?
Car.
Okay, so you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, bus or train?
Train.
Paperback or ebook?
Ooh, paperback.
Beach or pool?
Beach.
Drag race or We Are Here?
Ooh, We Are Here.
Gaga or Beyonce? Quickly!
Beyonce.
Rihanna or Dua Lipa?
Oh, Rihanna.
Pasta or rice?
Pasta.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Sunrise or sunsets?
Sunsets.
Christmas or Halloween?
Halloween.
Barbara Streisand or Liza Minnelli?
Liza Minnelli.
The Kardashians or Jersey Shore?
Ooh, Jersey Shore.
Do you call or text?
Call.
Sausage or bacon?
Sausage.
Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram.
Spend your money or save your money?
Save my money.
High heels or flats?
High heels.
Rock or hip hop?
Rock.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Tenting or RVing?
Ooh, tenting.
Fishing or hunting?
Fishing.
Blue or green?
Green.
Vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
Long or short hair?
Long hair.
Eggs or pancakes?
Pancakes.
There, see, now you've learned everything you need to know about Nicole. All right, make sure that you follow Nicole Layog on social media, the Butcher Goddess. You're going to be buying her cookware soon. I have a feeling.
Cookware.
Yes, I
like
think you
that.
should do some cookware.
I like that.
And I think you should do a show in the Philippines, and I'll go host it with you.
I like that idea
I'm
as
just
well.
saying. I'm just saying.
You never know.
You never know.
Happen.
You never know. Miss
Anything
Nicole,
can
thank
happen.
you so much for being on the FayWhat
Thank
show.
you
I
so
really
much.
do appreciate. Folks, make sure that you follow her on all social media. I'm telling you that Nicole's doing great things. Now, I need for you to look into that camera
Yes.
and like something that we say, my name is FayWhat, and we say it like that.
Okay.
FayWhat. So look at the camera and say that.
FayWhat.
One more time.
FayWhat.
Yeah, she did it awesome. All right. Miss Nicole Layog, please follow her everywhere. Thank you for being on the FayWhat
you.
show. We will be right back. So, did you enjoy the show? I know you did. So make sure to click subscribe so you won't miss any of the events, news, or interviews right here on the FayWhat show. Ring the bell at the bottom of the screen, right there, so you'll be alerted every time we're live. You can also click on the Happening Out Television Network logo so you can see all of the shows on the most diverse LGBTQ+ media network. Find out just what we're doing to bring the L and the G together right here on the FayWhat show. Get the week started with me.